Hello Internet, we have a special card here today. This is Nvidia H200 NVL. Originally the card came in with the two of the sens pins S3 and S4 shorted together and bent inside of the 12 volt high power connector. Someone just likes to shove it, don't you? You just like to shove it. And so what I ended up doing is they shoved this connector, well, not this particular one, but their own, into our beloved 12 volt high power connector that we all know and love and hate. So what is like a $10,000-$20,000 GPU or a Skynet PU, whatever the proper term for this would be. Stupid connector, stupid issues that should not exist. This pin was bent, and then this pin was also bent. So they were all bent like this, except for this one. This was the only straight pin, and then this was the only straight pin that was left, but this one was no connect. So what I ended up doing is, well, first I had to remove all that skin, exposing the wires. Then we had some hot glue, so I removed that. So the pin that was no connect was sitting over here, and I was able to just pull it out and repurpose it for this particular hole here. And the dilemma that I'm having right now is that I need to find another pin like this, because there's no way I can find a connector like this anywhere. And so what I'm thinking, I can't just take this connector, for example, because, you know, the pins are here bent on a 90 degree, and I need something that's coming out straight out of the connector. But also, at the same time, I looked at this connector here, and I was just kind of wondering, what if they're coming out straight, and what if there's enough surface for me to reuse this thing? So let's go under a microscope. So you see how these pins, they kind of come out and then they just bend. And I wonder if I could pull it out and possibly machine it a little bit, so that way I can kind of, so it looks like they come out. Oh, look, yeah, look at this. Look at this. Ha ha ha. Now here's an issue. The issue is immediately that pin is way longer, right? And but that's not too big of an issue actually. I wonder, like, how far does it need to go in here? Probably about this far. So here is the original pin that I pulled from the top. That's a no connect. And then what we have here is this. So obviously it's very different, and it looks like I'm gonna have to do some manual shaping here, get it working. So I think, use my dry skin, feel free to recommend a lotion. So let's put this thing on the ground so I can at least figure out how far I want it to cut. So if you were here, okay, so I probably want to cut right there, and then in here, I don't know if it's just gonna fit. It might. So let's give it a try. You see, it has to stay aligned, because if I can insert it like this and it doesn't stay aligned, that's a problem. And as you can see here, it kind of wobbles. So if I'm able to secure it this way and somehow stop it from wobbling, which I'm guessing will have to be accomplished with either super glue at the bottom of it, that's going to be one way of doing it, as otherwise I don't know what to do. Because this is a plated piece, you can't just cut whatever piece of metal to whatever shape and call it good. Alright, so see, this one goes in easy, but this one just kind of fighting. Alright, let's look at a more common connector here. Let's pull one of their pins and see if there's any more favorable orientation of that pin. See if we can yank this thing out. Almost unbelievable. $20,000 card, and we're having problems like this. Okay, so we got this, whatever this is. Let's look at it. So this is all we have there. Is it looking any way? Yeah, it looks about the same. So this one looks a little bit better actually. So the length is just right. So all we need to do is trim the top, but then, and we also have a little bit of room here on the side that allows us to sort of play around with the fitment inside of the hole. So maybe this is our best bet. Go and trim that just a little bit. Go. So that's the piece that we have. It might even fit the way it is. I don't know. Alright, hopefully this works. I don't know. Let's give it a try. Let's take that piece and bring it into here. See what it looks like. So that looks like it's going in rather firm, which is exactly what I want. Okay, what does it look like on the inside though? And on the inside, it looks good. Yep, that looks good. So, I guess we might have a fix today after all. that's nice. So what I gotta do now is I gotta be super careful. I probably want to secure that wire in place first. And what better way to do that if not with, let's see, I don't think that there's any dirt in there. Okay, so I want to apply some mask like here. And effectively all I'm trying to do is, and I'm trying to prevent this pin from moving around so that it stays where it is. So it doesn't wobble left or right once I start applying heat on that pin. Okay, so I'm just gonna wipe off the, I don't want that here. This is where we're gonna be soldering the wire. Just that one area here, wanna be left nice clean like this. Okay, let's cure that. That should hold the pin aligned while we do some soldering. Alright, that should be enough, I think. Oh, it looks like I need to do it a little bit more to burn that layer all the way through. So let's go for a second cycle. Okay, that looks good. Alright, so let's figure out what wire goes where. Looks like red, green, and blue. So since we're dealing with this little tiny size pin, we do not want to heat things up here any more than absolutely necessary. And for that reason, we're using specialized flux. Is basically highly corrosive, so that I can do quick touch up without the need for high temperatures. Okay, so let's apply a little bit of solder, so like this, right there. See, almost instant touch. That's all I want. I do not want that plastic melting any more than it's absolutely necessary. And the only way to achieve that is to get that flux do its thing long before the pin starts to melt. So right there, we got the pin soldered. Now let's clean up. We're gonna have to secure all these wires, and I'm not going to be doing hot glue in here. Instead, I'm just gonna do a clear UV resin that can be removed if needed with a little bit of heat. Alright, so we're done here, I think. I just want to try and see if the connector will go in. Slips right in. Huh, very interesting. Let's see if we can power this thing. Okay, nothing happens. Nothing happens whatsoever. We're pulling 0 point some funny amps. Very interesting. Now, why is that? So it looks like we may have a secondary issue. Very interesting. Okay, let's start poking around. This is where things finally get interesting. See if I can figure this out while talking at the same time. What do we have? So I know we don't have any short on the board. So what's this cable here? 12 volt. What's this one here? 0, 12, 0. Okay, now what? What do we have here? Nothing. We got 12, 5, 3.3. Interesting. It generates its own 3.3. What else? 12 here. This is memory. There's nothing there. There's nothing on the core. There's nothing in here. What is the resistance of this coil, and what does this coil do? This coil is reading 4K, 5K almost. So this is probably 1.8. I don't know. What could potentially be the cause for our lack of power? I do not know. I am using authentic Nvidia cable, so something must have gone wrong with these pins once they shorted. I soldered red, blue, and green instead of red, green, and blue. So how do we go about fixing this? We can fix this by either swapping the connections at the connector here, or we could just cut the wire and do it this way. I think it'll be prettier, visually more appealing if we were to swap the wires here. And that way I would not have to butcher the connection anywhere else, especially the one that I've already sealed. So see if we can push this wire out. Just need to lift this like this and then get that wire through like so. Here comes our wire. See, right there. And same thing with the blue one. If we can get it to lift that latch, push it out. And the wire is out. We're gonna slide it over here, make sure it's latched. And same thing with the green one, make sure it's latched. And that's basically what you get when you're talking while working. So if I was not talking, I'd probably get this thing fixed, and it'd probably be fixed by now. This should power in theory. Let's arm ourselves with thermal camera just in case. And still nothing. Interesting. That did not help. I don't know why. Alright, so now if we were to check these pins, we should have 3.3 on 2, but 1. So let's see. So there's our 3.3, 3.3, and this one will have 0, and it's supposed to read about 4.7K to the ground through this resistor, and then it doesn't go anywhere else. So these ones are all 3.3. Now what happens when we plug the cable in, power cable, and try it again? I think this one's supposed to be, or this one 3.3, yeah, and then the rest are 0. So I think the cable is properly plugged in. Let's figure out what these pins are, what they do, and what could be the potential consequence of having these pins shorted. As soon as we plug in our cable, we're losing basically 3.3 volt here. Why that is, I do not know. Okay, I don't know. I am out of ideas. I have no idea what's wrong with this thing. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna remove this thing, this one resistor here, which basically disconnects that pin from the power good. So, and we're going to trick the card into thinking that there is no problem with the power cable. So, and as a result, it will power on. See right there, we're pulling like 3 amps. So I guess we're okay. I don't know. I'm gonna go and try it out. See if it works. Because otherwise I have no idea what is wrong with this thing. No board views. Finding these signals will take ages. Where they go, vias are practically non-visible. I mean, a lot of times you kind of see a via and you know where to follow, but in this case, you can't even see the via. So you have no idea, like in between these two transistors, just a trace, but no visible sign of any via. How did it end up in here? I have absolutely no idea. Alright, so here's the thing. This is how I have to run it. I got a blower on the right side blowing air through it, and I'm running into a bit of an issue. I don't think any of my systems are compatible with this card. I already tried reinstalling the drivers and everything. It gives me error code 12. This is some kind of resource thing here. I think I have to have a specialized motherboard for this, so I'm gonna have to send this back to the customer as is, assuming it works. Have him verify, because otherwise, I don't think there's anything left for me to do in here. Everything else seems to be working, so fingers crossed. Hopefully this thing was actually fixed. I will not know until he gets it. Either way, thank you and goodbye.